Hello and welcome back to Shining Force! So since the last episode, I did a truly enormous amount of grinding and it was painful, but we got everyone, we got our new characters promoted and everyone else got super over-leveled because these enemies give tons of XP even if you're already pretty high level. So there wasn't a lot I could do about that, so we may... The rest of the game is probably going to be a little easier than it's meant to be, but... Friends, the grinding was so painful that I feel that this is my reward for doing it. Okay, so we're going to delete the older file, the videos are fine. Last time, we got to prompt, we recruited new people, Kane died, all sorts of crazy things happened. It was like such a epic moment in the story, and now we can finally go on the shining path to Matafa, the land of the ancients. But before we can do that, we have to fight our way through a horde of robots who were, apparently they were actually like good robots made by the ancients, but Darksol reprogrammed them and now they're fighting us. First, let's see our new friends. I don't know, well, you saw this guy's unpromoted sprite on the map when we met him, whatever. I never showed him off in combat. It would have been annoying. This is Adam, he's been promoted. He's another unit whose face portrait changes when he promotes, like Blue and Ben. He becomes a more high-tech robot, I guess. I am yours to command, Ben. Point out our foes and step out of my way. And here's our promoted new mage. She has Bolt 3, which, you know, honestly, it doesn't do as much damage as the other. It doesn't have as high a damage as the other, as like Freeze and Blaze at high levels, but the range is so good that I honestly really like it. It like softens up so many enemies so easily. And this is Tarasu. We promoted him also. Here's Samurai Friend Musashi. I actually didn't even use him once yet because he started at level 10 promoted, so there's no need. You can see that Domingo's not in the party right now. This is mainly because I just want to show off Adam, and as you can see, it's, you know, I already swapped out Guns for our new mage, so someone else had to go. I'll probably eventually swap Domingo back in, because, I don't know who I'll swap him in for, like, Blue Stang, he's so cool. I love both of the birds. I like having a lot of flyers, so I don't think I want to trade them out. I want to keep all the mages because I friggin' love using mages. Archer really useful. Maybe Xylo could go. He's a case where his unpromoted form is really cool, but his promoted form looks sort of dumb. I just think his outfit is silly. So maybe him, if we decide to keep Adam. We'll see. I'm just gonna give you a quick peek at the stats of our new friends now that they're promoted. We took a peek at them last time, unpromoted. Also, so basically, yeah, you can't remove the main character from the party ever, so he had to be present every time I was training anyone. And the thing is, in this level, the map is small and a lot of the enemies can fly over walls, so you get swarmed really quickly at the start, so I couldn't just save all the kills for the weakest guys, or we would just die, because this is the thing, the enemies in this level have good defenses and they hit like a truck. They're really strong. So Ben ended up getting a lot of kills just to keep the squishies from dying. And now he's really over leveled because his sword lets him basically one-shot all of them. It's kind of a mix of levels. I just sort of was swapping people in and out as I went. The mages also got really high level because I was using them to weaken enemies since they have fixed damage, or sort of roughly fixed damage attacks. Domingo even gained a few levels. Chris somehow gained a lot of levels. Tarasu actually only got to level 6 because he was hard to train. It just took ages. Gong was a bit... He actually, the thing about our archers got really, really strong. The two birds go... So, like, you know, we got some overleveling. Adam, I managed to get him to level 5 promoted. So he started at level 10 unpromoted. So I leveled him up to 20 and then promoted him. And friends, he has the power ring equipped right now, and he still only has 42 attack. When he started... He had 29 attack with the power ring. So training him, he could do 1 damage to every enemy. And he would die either in 1 hit or occasionally in 2 hits if he was lucky. And he was slow, so he also got doubled sometimes. So training him, and this was a level where it was really hard to get the enemies down to 1 HP. If he could have dealt like 5 HP damage, at least it would have been something. But over a long and painful process of occasionally getting him a kill, we finally got his attack to the point where he could at least do like 6 or 7 damage to some of the squishier enemies, like the mages. I could grind him further, but everyone else is really over leveled, so I don't want to go any further on this one map, and maybe a future map will make it easier to grind him up. He only has 4 moves, so like Guns, he's limited in that way. You can see his stats have gone up a lot in the first few levels since promotion. He gets good eventually, but he is so painful to train. He comes in so far behind the others and so incredibly weak. The other two you get in the tower are a mage and a healer, so at least they can consistently get XP using their spells. A melee fighter that far behind is just like, ouch. Also, I just want to point out, for some reason, she has the white ring equipped, which gives her like an extra 6 defense, I think. But still, her defenses just shot up, and she got really tanky for some reason, even though at the start of the game she was incredibly squishy. So I don't really know why that happened. The same thing did not really happen to Lo. She just like became the tank healer. And based on what I read about this game, like, unlike in Fire Emblem, you don't get like weird stat patterns where from just randomness someone levels up and something they never would. The stats are usually around the average. So I guess she's just like, once she promotes, she becomes a tank? Very strange. She started doing a lot of damage too. It was so weird. But anyway, we're finally going to finish this level. And when we see the map again, I think you'll understand, viewers, why grinding on this was the worst. In a way, it's sort of convenient because there's so many enemies so close to you, right? But the thing is that because they can fly over the top of that one thing also, and there's so many of them, and they have high movement range on a small map, you get surrounded really quickly. And also, a lot of my units I need to grind were at level 1. Like, I promoted everyone, and then I fought the battle that we were on, that map. You also go straight to the battle here. We just cut in. Screech! Kill! Kill! This is Chaos. He's been reprogrammed by Darksol. So let's take a look at the map again. Again, this is a small map relative to Shining Force map standards, and the enemies have really high moves. So these guys have 7 move, right? So in one turn, they'll be like here. And then the turn after that, they can attack, and they do a lot of damage. Not as much now that we've leveled up. These guys, they move like all the way down here, and then they're right here. They can do a lot of damage. The mages, because they have the level 3 spell, they have good range on the spell. These guys can also just fly right over this thing. These guys luckily are further away. They'll take a while to reach us, but ouch. Oh, and also, Chaos is the first boss I'd say that we've seen. I don't know if he is the boss or if this is a level where you have to kill everything. I never killed him because I was grinding. I didn't want to finish the level. But he moves. He doesn't just sit there. He moves to attack you, and he's very strong. So we'll just start moving here. I've done this level so many times grinding that I'm like, how would I do this if I was trying to beat the level? It's like, I don't know. But yeah, a major issue here is that, as you may remember, way back when we were doing promotions and stuff, when you get to level, when you promote, your stats reset to like the baseline for your promoted class. So you lose stats, so you're a lot weaker than you were. And these enemies are quite a jump in difficulty from what we've been fighting prior to this. These were a big, like the next big leap, I'd say, you know, in enemy tiers. And this guy, even with our characters this leveled up, this enemy still has quite a lot of defense and is tanking us pretty well. And that's when these characters are like level 12. So imagine how it was trying to grind my level 1 characters. Most of them could barely do more than 1 or 2 damage. They would die in 1 to 2 hits, and they were slower. So the enemies, these 2 enemies on top, the Jets, the one we just killed and this guy, would frequently move first because our guys, the ones we need to grind, were slow. And the problem is you can't swap out your party members, right? They go in order, they just appear on the map in the order that they are in your barracks. And that order is based on their character class. So the knights are always at the top. They're the first ones in the roster, no matter what else you've got in there. There's no way to get them further back. So when I was trying to train the knights, whoever was in that left slot would just die. We'll show off the Valkyrie here. It's a 1-2 range weapon and it is the strongest lance. It's ridiculous. That's why May leveled up so much. You can kind of see here how ridiculously good it is. So they could just kill one of my guys right off the bat if the AI decided to do that. You can see her stats have done quite well. She's really strong because of that Valkyrie also. Omni has 58 HP at this point. I think we can burn a freeze 4. Let's you eat. And you can also see that this guy can reach your enemies on the left really fast, even if you don't move anyone at the start. I moved everyone over a little. He can get to them and reach them with his ranged spell. So it's super difficult with your units so squishy, and it's really hard to keep them alive long enough to get a KO. And the problem was that also, even at the levels we are now, everything is still giving a lot of exp. Like, when you get these, like, when we did the first round of grinding to promote everyone, towards the end, certain enemies just stopped giving us very much, but these enemies are still giving us like 48x per kill. So my stronger units, and sometimes I would kill them accidentally because like you do a little more damage than you mean to, because I was trying to get them down to like 1 or 2 HP left. So my weak units could actually get KOs. So all my other units ended up leveling up a lot, and there wasn't a lot I could do about it because I had to weaken the enemies. And even just attacking them gave us a lot of exp, so everyone leveled up absurdly. But it was really hard to level up the squishies. The most painful part was when they were at level 1. Once they got a few levels, I mentioned this when we did all the promotions, and you can see that like Henri has gotten quite a bit more tanky as well. At first this enemy would have basically killed her. Those worms can also put you to sleep sometimes. Oh, this is trouble. I think this level has also definitely confirmed to me that the AI is designed to single out the main character, because I've noticed that they frequently go after main character even when there are lots of targets available. So, which makes sense from a design perspective. So here's the other problem with Adam. He doesn't have high move, and he's very slow. So it takes him forever to get his turn, and then he doesn't really get anywhere. Which is why I don't think we'll be making him a permanent party member, even though he is actually quite strong. He's kind of burning a lot of MP here, because look, Tao has 70 MP now, so hey, we can just use this. Remember the days when we would use like 3 blaze spells back at the start of the game and she'd be out of MP? Those days are gone, friends. Tao has arrived. She also leveled up a lot because her blaze spells don't do quite as much damage as Freeze, so they're really good for weakening enemies, so I was using her for ages to actually weaken the enemies enough for our weaker units to get kills, and she leveled up so much. Because for the mages, leveling up doesn't make their spells do more damage, so even as they leveled up, I could still have them reliably weaken enemies, so they were a very useful part of the strategy here. But yeah, so basically, the first couple levels, as I mentioned when we did all the promotions, after you promote, you get a bunch of stats, presumably to catch you up for the ones you lost from the changeover. So after we got a few, the initial painful struggle of trying to get anyone a level, for each character it happened too, because getting that first level was so hard because they just did so little damage and it was so hard to keep them alive. But once you got 2 or 3 levels, things settled in and it's like, okay, we can actually do the fight now. This is okay. The problem was that for Adam, he was at that extremely weak stage for the entire 10 levels of trying to get him to level 20. And then his stats dropped and we had to do it again. So it was like a painful experience that we had to repeat. So that's why I just stopped grinding him when he got to level 5. I was like, if I keep going, all my other characters are going to get so over-leveled. Because they are all in the map too, and Adam is so slow that if I tried to leave every kill for him, he would get killed all the time, because he would get overwhelmed by this huge number of enemies. There's a lot of enemies on this map for its small size, and he can't kill them fast enough. Because he was doing like 1 damage. She actually has gotten quite a lot of MP, so I'll show off Bolt 3. It's one of the most expensive spells. It's more expensive than like Freeze 4, but look at the huge range. If we hadn't like killed that guy last turn, we could easily catch like 3 or 4 enemies in it. It doesn't do as much damage either. It like does, you know, in the 20s, whereas Freeze 4 and Blaze 4 are instant KOs basically. But you can see that if the enemies have been softened up at all, oh, we got Bolt 4, that's cool. Try it out. It can finish them off really easily. And it also can weaken enemies really easily so that then our other units can easily finish them off. So it is honestly quite useful, even though it's not a KOing spell. So like, because the level 4 spells, that's honestly what they're really good for, is like using them on a boss or an enemy with tons of defense to just get that KO in 1 turn, or an enemy that's really dangerous, you know, you have to get rid of them fast. Whereas Bolt is nice for crowd control. So I wouldn't say she's a weaker mage than the other 2. I feel like she just has a different role in the level. Honestly, she's also really nice for those cases when you have a boss that hangs out with a bunch of enemies around them, because she could attack them from a fairly good range and chip them down so that you can actually get to the boss. Chaos hasn't come out yet, and also, this battle is going much more smoothly than my grinding runs, because these are all my super leveled up characters who are, like, hyper powerful now. Imagine doing this when they were level 1. It was the worst. It was so bad. I almost wish I had filmed some of it, because just to show how incredibly awful it was trying to fight these enemies. Like, this level really exemplified what I said earlier in the game about how, yeah, in theory you can always grind everyone up, like, the game doesn't let you grind it as much as you want, so no one will ever permanently fall behind. See, he can't really do anything still, it's terrible. But in practice, at some point your character might get so weak that even though, yeah, you'll probably always be able to do at least 1 damage, so like in theory if you carefully chip the enemies down you could get everyone up, but it becomes so frustrating and time consuming that you probably won't want to. So there are sort of just limits to it, but yeah, Chaos' moving boss properties here. I think what starts him walking is like when your characters get within a certain range, or maybe when you kill a certain amount of enemies, because he seemed to come out at different points while I was grinding depending on how far and how quickly we advanced. But that makes him quite dangerous. He also has a ranged laser attack, like we saw a bunch of the other robot enemies use, so it's hard to block him off from people too. He's a quite dangerous foe. Less so now, because our characters have leveled up and our defenses are higher, but when we were first grinding this map, once he appeared it was like, well, I guess the map's over. So bolts, I see, so the level 4 one is the single target one. So they all have that version, it's just much more costly. But I'm gonna do the full one, because then we can take out some other enemies, and the thing is, I have 2 other mages who have level 4 spells that can go after Chaos. This is really good for just hitting all of them and taking them out. Because Freeze 3 and Blaze 3 do not do as much damage as Bolt 3. They're cheaper, but they don't hit as large a range and they don't do as much. So like, you know, they're all complementary. But we're almost done here. This is going so fast, those first grinding ones. I would like kill a small amount of enemies at the start, and then half our army would be dead, so we'd have to restart. The one nice thing about this level, I will say, is that it still, even at this point in the game, only costs 100 to 200 coins to resurrect any character. And you've seen that each enemy we kill is giving us like over 1,000 gold. So if you manage to kill even 1 enemy, it's not really a problem if your entire army, except Ben, got taken out. And even if Ben dies, you'll recoup the gold quickly because you just get so much from killing even just the random enemies. So the game, like the battle gets much more difficult and grinding gets much more difficult, but the game is kind of showing you some mercy in that you can quickly make up for your lost resources. So while grinding, pretty much the entire army would get taken out because I'd be trying to save enemies that had 1 or 2 HP left for the squishiest and weakest members, which led to those enemies getting a lot of attacks against our other characters, which led to a lot of characters getting killed because the enemies can do a lot of damage. But that was fine because we could resurrect basically our entire army and still be making money off of each fight. So I will say that as frustrating as the grinding is, that's partly because I left it to that point. It would have been boring, but when I first promoted everyone in the Michaela fight, I could have grinded everyone up then. And that would not have been nearly as difficult. So I left it until this difficult fight. So like that's not the game's fault. Although I will say, for Adam, this is the first fight where you can use him. So Adam is like, he's not a secret character, he's a required recruit, but he sort of acts like one in a way because he's basically unusable. He does nothing good until you put a lot of effort into him. And it's sort of, I would say the game designers definitely intended that, like they intended it to be painful to level him up because there's no way they could not have realized. So I'm assuming it's one of those things where it's like, this character is really good, but you're gonna have to really want to make them good. And the thing is, your other characters will be good enough at this point that you don't really need to. So he's sort of a weird character in that way. He's like a special secret character that there's not really that much need to put in the effort required to make him worth it. And it's so weird too, because you have characters like Domingo, he's even more of a secret character, because he's optional, and you have to do 2 different things. You have to get the egg, and you have to give it to the guy who can hatch it. In quite different parts of the game. So he's much more of a secret character, yet he doesn't take nearly as much work to make good, and you have him for way more of the game. So Adam is such a strange character. But yeah, it's just trying to level him up. The fact that this is the first map you get him, it really does feel like the game is just punishing you for using him. Let's see how much damage Chris can do. Her attack has gone up a lot. Oh, she missed. He has so much defense that she may not be able to hurt him. May will be fine though. I'm just gonna go after Chaos here. I've never fought him at all in any of my grinding runs because obviously I didn't want to kill the boss and make the level end. Very good, May. The characters are so strong now, it's not nearly the same. This unit now ceases to function. Mission incomplete. System failure. Aw, sorry, Chaos. You feel kind of bad because he wasn't actually evil. He was reprogrammed by Darksol, so it wasn't his fault that he was fighting us. Those who seek the Chaos Breaker must prove themselves. These look ominously like tombstones. Use light on the left altar, darkness on the right. The Chaos Breaker is forged from light and darkness. It appears on the central altar, so I assume we have to use the items. Take the Chaos Breaker from the central altar and go forth to battle evil. Okay. So this was the one with light, right, on the left? I have both swords, so here it is. That sword has been so good, I gotta say. It was, like, ridiculous. We never used the Sword of Darkness. I actually don't even know if Ben can equip it. I didn't try. Apparently we can! Wow, it's even more broken! But you only have it for, like, one battle, so it's not really... there's no need for it. And now we're gonna get an even more broken weapon. I'm assuming we have to use the Orb of Light here to, like, make a path so we can walk forward. I'm just guessing because it looks like the same as all the other ones we've done. I could be wrong. Oh hey, it's this chick. The writing on the stone slabs explains what you must do. Read them and obey. Oh. I thought this would form a path, but I guess we actually just walk behind the altars. Oh, I see. You can just go over here. Someone uncleared me. Ben discovers a Chaos Breaker. It was made out of a yellow sword and a purple sword, but it's a green sword. I don't know why. Let's equip it. I believe Hero is the only one who can use it. It's really strong. You know, I'm actually going to give his speed ring away too, because he gained a lot of agility. He does not need the speed ring anymore. He did it first, but he doesn't anymore. Sadly, we can't give it to our slow characters like Adam, because he's not strong enough yet. He desperately needs the power ring. Maybe I'll give it to Blue. He's not very fast, so that could be nice. Get him some more turns, because he's really good. I will say, I was going to say this about Adam earlier, and also about guns. We missed an item in Warrel. I just forgot to search some chests in the shops, and it's the mobility ring, which gives you +2 move while you equip it, which is a real bummer, because that would make Guns and Adam actually quite good, but I can't go back for it now. The chests were right in plain sight, too. I just forgot about them before we left. It slipped my mind. Use the Chaos Breaker to stop Darksol. I have done all I can. The rest is up to you. Okay, real talk. This lady has done basically nothing. She told us a bunch of things we already knew, pretty much. You've done nothing, person. The Ancients did not adequately prepare for this disaster. Go now, Ben. The hopes of all ruin go with you. So I guess we just walk back out. Oh, or not. Maybe I have to open the door again? Oh wait, there's a path over here. I didn't see it before. We teleport out. And we're back at the start. Wow, that took like 20 minutes. And that wasn't even all the fight, because I explained a bit about it at the start before and showed off stats and stuff. So I think I'm going to take Adam out of the party for now. If there's a suitable map later, I might grind him up more just to kind of show off the fact that he is actually pretty strong. But he's annoying to use. At last, the Chaos Breaker. You must go to Runefaust now. See Mahato there. He is honest and can help you. Cool. So we're going to go see a guy named Mahato. King, what do you got to say? Do you still think we're all doomed? Long ago, Ben, the Ancients founded the cities of Guardiana and Runefaust. Though back then, Runefaust was called Protectora, because the Ancients were very boring when it came to naming things. These cities are gonna guard and protect things, so we'll call them Guardiana and Protectora. Where was I? Oh yes. Guardiana held the western gate of the Ancients. Oh! Well, Protectora held the eastern. This makes sense to me now. I was confused about why in the last episode why Darksol even needed to raise the castle of the Ancients, because at the beginning of the game, we were at a gate near Guardiana, and we're told that it could be opened with the key in the Manual of the Seal. And if that happened, Dark Dragon would escape. So I was like, why doesn't he just go back there? But I think the earthquake that happened at the start of the game maybe blocked it off so he can't get there or something. And so, or maybe he has to open both gates, I don't know. But this makes much more sense now that we know there is a second gate. The Protector has fallen into evil hands, the gate remains and still functions. Darksol entered the Castle of the Ancients through the Eastern Gate. Oh, so maybe both gates lead to the Castle of the Ancients. And that's why you have to open the gates to release Dark Dragon, but you also have to raise the castle so you can get inside. Maybe that's it. So this is more complicated than it initially seemed. You must enter Runefaust and fight your way to the gate. Good luck, Ben. Why don't we just go back to the gate in our town? We have one already. Is it blocked off by the earthquake? Is that the problem? Like, can we not go back home? Are we like too far away? I'm not really sure where we are on the map at this point. We just like transport between chapters, you know, sort of the narrative catches us up. So I'm not sure how far we are. I guess Runefaust is closer. By the way, there's a secret character we're gonna get in Runefaust. So that'll be pretty cool. And then it's the very last character we'll recruit. We're at the end of the game here. To the south is Runefaust. Their army approaches. You must fight your way in. Oh, so we're finally gonna have a reason to use the bottom of this map. Yeah, we started there, in fact. So, oh, it must be through that gate. That's the gate of Runefaust. Man, this is all making sense now. Because when we first went to this map, I was like, why is there a wall here? Where does it go? That must be like Runefaust has like a battlement around it. So this, it looks like at the very least, this is mostly forest, not mountains. The mountains are what's really awful to travel on. So this is a large map that's going to take us a while to get through. Let's check out our enemy placements and stuff. We've got mages, we've got more minotaurs. This will be tough. Oh, who are these guys? Horseman with the buster shot. So these are the upgraded, like, sniper dudes. They have really high attack. What are these? Armed skeleton. So we finally got an upgrade to the skeleton. And do they attack twice? Because they have 2 great axes. Maybe they can drop one? Another Cerberus. We haven't seen that guy in a while. Got a healer here, so that'll be tough. Is that everybody? Oh, there's 3 more people back here. More the same. And the gate is guarded by this skeleton dude. So there's not a ton of enemies on the map, so it's probably gonna be a slow battle. Man, I may want to go back out and swap out Adam. I gotta say, it's kind of a dick move on the part of the game designers. Ugh. Once again, I'm very congested. As always. I have terrible allergies, and like, they're not well treated by over-the-counter allergy medication, but I don't know if they're really bad enough to warrant, like, allergy shots. So they're just chronically low-grade shitty. But anyway. Basically, it's really shitty of the game designers to have given us Adam in, like, there's gotta be only less than 5, maybe 5 battles that he could participate in tops. We don't have a lot of the game left. We're right at the end. And they gave us a level 10 extremely weak character who will need to be carefully grinded. It's like, I'm not opposed to games having secret characters or like characters where they seem initially weak and you have to work hard to level them up. But this just, it's so late in the game that it's like, why bother? And it's so difficult to level him up that it's really time consuming and just annoying. It's, and I feel like he's good, but he's not good enough to make it. Maybe he gets really good if I'll level him up even further. I don't know, but so far he's not really impressing me. It's not that he's bad, I guess, but like I have lots of characters who are really good. So it's like, why bother with him? Domingo, who is also a secret character, A, is a lot easier to level up and you get him way earlier. But B, he also offers something unique. He's the only flying magic user. And then Guns is also, like, he's a little more similar to Adam, except you get him much earlier. He's also he's not a secret character, but he's an optional recruit. You have to go find him. But he's also really, like, unique and interesting, and you just have him so much longer, and he's really easy to level up because he's never super weak. And like Blue is not a secret character, but it's also one where he's a required recruit, but you have to do a bit of grinding to get him up to speed. But again, the fact that he flies gives him a lot of uniqueness as a character, whereas we have plenty of melee characters at this point, so Adam isn't really... Yeah, he's the only robot character, but being a robot doesn't really seem to do anything for him. I did notice while I was grinding that exactly once in all the many times I had him attack, he, like the robot enemies we fought, activated an alternate attack where he shot a laser instead of hitting things. But he was still really weak, so it also did 1 damage, so I don't know whether it's purely cosmetic or whether at higher levels it actually gets really good. But apparently it's used fairly rarely, considering how rarely that we saw it once in all that grinding. So that alone doesn't seem like enough of a draw. If that is like a thing for him, maybe that's kind of his uniqueness, that he is a robot and has that mechanic, but we have so many unique and powerful characters that it is a little hard for him to stand out at this point in the game. And it's disappointing because it's like Aleph and Tarasu also come in. Oh, he does seem to have Gunce's ignore terrain thing going on though, so he's slow, but at least he has that, so I'll give him that. But he doesn't equip a weapon, so like Gunce at least can equip like 1-2 range weapons and stuff, and which helps him be competitive, even though he is a little slower than the other characters and can't get as far. Whereas Adam can't equip anything. He's like Blue and Silo. He's not a weapon using character. So I don't know if he's really stands out enough. Put my bird friend in danger here. Oh, a stunning attack too. I didn't expect that. Magic criticals are like, they don't happen often enough for me to be prepared for them. They don't happen that frequently. But yeah. Oh, this guy is hard to kill. Well, part of the issue here is that we're on... When I looked it up online, I did discover, as I mentioned in previous episodes, that being on terrain does boost your defenses. So, and this is why I hate the outdoor maps. This is exactly why, because like, I'm like, oh, I could send my healer over. Nope, the healer can't get anywhere. None of my melee people can get anywhere. It's boring. It just takes forever and it's boring. The indoor map was hard to grind on, but at least it's like, and it's kind of like, oh my god, there's so many enemies, you're kind of desperately trying to survive, but at least it's exciting. And it doesn't take that long, so it's like, oh, this was fun. Whereas this is just gonna be ages. But yeah, so Aleph and Tarasu also come in quite under level, like they're not even promoted. At a point in the game when, I mean, I had everyone promoted and I waited a long time to promote, so if you don't wait, which the game I think probably is designed assuming that you won't wait that long, probably everyone's going to be promoted. So they also have to catch up, but at least Aleph is unique in that she's the only one who gets Bolt level 4, and Tarasu is the only one who gets Aura level 4. So again, it's like, yeah, you have other guys in your army who are the healers and the mages, you already have those broad functions. So you don't have to level them up, but at least they have something where you're like, okay, this is the only character who can offer me that. So there's a good reason to level them up and see how it works. And it's not very hard because as a mage, Aleph can get kills pretty easily because the spells do fixed damage. And Tarasu gets X by healing. So even though it's slow, like obviously getting 10 experience per heal is a tedious process, but it's consistent. You know, you can keep doing that the entire battle. Whereas Adam, at first, I would be lucky if I got him 1 kill in a battle, and sometimes I didn't manage to get him any. Because you've also noticed that he doesn't get his turn that frequently either, because of his low agility, and it was even lower when, you know, we first got him. So he would just take so long to get his turn, and then his move is so low that it was really hard to even get him close enough to the enemies to attack at all. Particularly since he could get killed so easily by their attacks, so it was just not... I would not have bothered leveling him up all the way if not for the fact that I wanted to be able to show him off. But we haven't even managed to get him in a battle yet. He's so slow, he can't get there. That's the thing, is in order to get him into the fight, you would have to wait and leave the enemy alive when you could have killed it with your other characters, and a lot of these enemies do a fair amount of damage, so that's not really a good idea. And it has no strategic benefit to you. It would be solely like because you like him and want him to fight. So it's like, why would you do it? having low movement range is just really tough in general, especially since, at least in Fire Emblem, there's like, most of the games have at least a few levels where like you have to defend something. Maybe you have to defend an NPC that you're escorting, or it's a defense mission where the goal is to stop the enemy from reaching some certain point for whatever matter of turns. Oh, I should have just used heal 4. It's a full heal. This won't actually do the full heal. So like in those missions, it's like, oh, a character that's slow could still be useful. And you have rescue in most of the games now. So like, at least you can like catch the slow characters up. And also, you can attack on enemy phase, you counterattack. So it's like, at least they could sit there and draw the enemy in. In this game, it's like, being a low movement character really hurts their usability, because the way the game works is that in every map, you need to get from your starting point to somewhere else by walking across the map. And you have to kill enemies on the way. So if you can't get there, it's just like, you're bad. Oh, that's why these maps, either I would keep everyone at the pace of the slowest characters and the map would be the most boring process ever because it would take so friggin' long to get there. We'd be moving like 2 spaces a turn, or most of my army is like way far out ahead of the others and can get in a bad, like they're split in half and can get in a bad spot because of that. So either way, it's annoying. I don't like these outdoor maps. They're just not very fun. And now we gotta wait through all the enemy turns. At least, like, the faster we kill these enemies, like, the less enemy turns we have to go through, so it won't take us long to get back to our turn. Blue got really... You can see how strong he gets with that, you know, you train him up and he's good. But honestly, most of our units get really quite strong as we go up in level. I forgot that that's... yeah, let's see. There we go. I mean, most of them, you know, they get to these high levels and it's like, they're pretty strong. You can honestly, I would say, if you have the patience to get them up to a high level, you can beat the game with whatever party you want. You know, it's... I wouldn't say there's any characters who are actually so bad that you can't use them. They're all... well, except Jogurt, obviously. He's a joke character who cannot gain levels or stats, so... I mean, if you had the patience to get enemies down to 1 HP, you could have him hit them, but there would not be a purpose in that activity. You could, but it wouldn't really... But he's intentionally useless. He's a joke. I read online that, apparently the developer said that where he came from was way early in the game. You know, as they were designing it, the character designs hadn't even been done yet, but the people doing the graphics engine wanted a character design to put in the game so they could test the engine. And the character designer had this like little random doodle because the designer was like, I don't even have any of the designs done. I've got nothing for you. But he had this doodle, so they put him in the game while they were doing the testing and then they put him in as a joke. So no idea if that's true. That's just what I read on the internet. But that'd be kind of cool if it was true. So you saw Adam attack. It wasn't especially impressive. To be fair, he's like half the level of everyone else because he was so slow to grind up, but yeah. It takes forever to get him anywhere so he can attack, and when he does, it's not like he's better than your other units. Maybe he will be eventually. Maybe. But with the time invested in getting him there, you could easily have just beaten the game. I'm glad Blue is so tanky because, man, he's just getting surrounded. I gotta say, the palette for the enemy horseman here is kind of cool. It's very, like, it looks like a medieval knight in livery, you know? It's very cool looking. I also like their gigantic mechanical crossbow. It's super badass. Let's show off the Chaos Breaker. This is gonna be overkill. So it's basically just a lightsaber. It's not very impressive looking, actually. But it does a lot of damage. This is what I meant when I said it was tough with Ben in the last level, because he couldn't weaken enemies. He just one-shot them. Now you can see what I was talking about. He literally just he would have one-shot that enemy. And he just does so much damage. I assume as we go on that's gonna stop being true at some point, but maybe not. Maybe it's just meant to be purposefully broken. It's like, You're required to use this guy in every mission, but he's gonna kill everything, so that's fine. Also, to be fair, he's really low right now because we couldn't remove him from the party, so he got overleveled while we were grinding the others. So that also is part of why he's so absurd. But the sword is a big contributor also. The sword if I remember right, that sword has the highest attack boost of any weapon in the game, except for the cursed weapons, certain of them. Which I think are not worth using, because if I remember right, it's like there's a % chance when you have them equipped that you'll be like unable to act. And to me, it's like even if when you act you do a lot of damage, if you can't reliably hit when you want to hit, like there are times when you're in a situation where, you know, you're saying to yourself, I need to kill this enemy now because on their next turn they'll be able to kill one of my units, so I have to be able to kill them right now, and you don't want to have that extra level of uncertainty. So I don't think the cursed weapons are ever worth equipping. That's just me. Some of the rings, apparently using them as an item can cast spells, but I haven't even tried it yet. I just haven't gotten around to it. I guess in hindsight, maybe I could have equipped that, or not equipped, but used them with my weak characters and the spells do 6 damage, so it would have gotten kills. I don't know if it gives you the experience points though. Stunning attack, arg, Adam. You just... Could you not suck so much? I spent so much time leveling you up. Like his defenses aren't that good. You know, he's just... I compare him to Blue. I realize, yes, I'm aware Blue is twice his level, but... He was better when he was the same level also. And because he gets his turns so rarely, it's very hard for him if he gets in a bad situation, A, to actually retaliate and kill the enemy, and B, to escape when he gets surrounded. At least Ben is good. He got like no X for that. He's so overleveled. The cap, I'll remind you, is 20, so he's ridiculous right now. Dan, you attack this horseman. We're never gonna be able to get the healer over to Adam. Like, she's so much better than him too. I realize she's level 15. She got a lot of X anyway though. That's the thing, even though our characters are pretty high level now, some of the enemies are still giving a lot of experience, so... I don't know if just this is the highest level the enemies get now, or at the end of the game, so they give XP you can actually, because otherwise you couldn't level up, or what, I really don't know. Oh, I guess now looking at this way, I'm very bored of this fight. This fight is just not very interesting. But we've shown Adam off now, you've seen him in a fight, so next time I can bring back Domingo and have my delightful little squid buddy. It is important to keep in mind with Domingo, some of the other mages finally have as much MP as him, but he's level 27, right? But he didn't promote. So it's the equivalent of being level 7 compared to our characters. You can see that he gets really good really fast, whereas our other mages took a while to level up to the point where they actually had that much MP. Not that they're really helping in this battle because it's taking them so long to reach the fight because of terrain. But again, Domingo and Kokichi are our only other 2 flying characters. We could also bring in Hans, who could move well on forests, but we'd still have to have party slots. That's only 3 slots. We'd still have party slots that just couldn't do anything. There wouldn't be anything we could do. Oh, interesting. The armed skeletons have a ranged attack. Wow, they're really interesting looking too. They have like a bazooka. Man, there's some fascinating monsters in this game. That's so strange. So they've got 2 axes and like, I don't even know. It's got a bandolier. Like, I'm not sure what kind of gun that is. I don't know that much about guns. It's like a little portable Gatling gun. I think we're probably gonna have some characters die here because... Oh, he used his laser attack. A deadly attack still didn't really do that much. Adam, I really want you to be good, but it's like, you're not. I'm assuming he has to be leveled up more and then he'll get like so many stats or something, you know? Maybe he has exponential stat curves. Because I heard that he was really good, and I'm like, it really seems like he had better be, because if he's shitty, then there's no point in having him in the game at all at that low level. The only possible rational explanation is that he's like one of those characters that when you level them, they unexpectedly get great. Otherwise, I'm just like, what were the designers thinking? It makes no sense. But yeah, we basically just can't get our healer over here quickly enough, and at this point, medical herbs don't really do a lot, so... You know, we'll just power through. She still can't really hit anything. I guess I can have her take out this armed skeleton at least, so we're not facing both of them. See, I feel like this battle wasn't that difficult, it's just really tedious. So I'm kind of bored by it. And having trouble coming up with that. Like, I just can't be bothered to give that good a strategy. I'm just like, oh, whatever. As long as Ben doesn't die. And, like, he's really good now, so. He went through that period where he just, when we were sort of at the end of, you know, the pre-promote levels, he was really falling behind everyone else. He wasn't as fast, he was weak, you know, he just couldn't, he was really getting kind of shitty, but now he has fully caught up. And is now one of our best characters. I think you can also see here what I was talking about when I said that it was difficult to grind characters because it was hard to get them down to low enough HP without killing them, because you can see that a lot of our best characters are now one-shotting things. And even when we were using some of the weaker ones, you know, we'd have this dichotomy between characters who basically couldn't do any damage, and then I think she might kill him though. Other characters who would do like more than half its HP, so then we couldn't really get them down that far. It was a big issue. Because even the healers started getting so strong that they could kill like the ice worms and the mages and stuff, so that was a major grinding challenge that we just, it was really hard to get enemies into a range where weaker characters could get a KO at all. Adam, do something. I don't think he's even gonna KO here. He can't do 14 damage. Nope, he couldn't do it. Okay, to be fair, this isn't the best assessment of him because of the defensive terrain. But, at the same time, I will say, we're comparing him to the rest of our army who are doing fine. So, like, yeah, in absolute terms, there are certain of these enemies he's not killing that he normally could, but he's worse than our other characters. I'm just having everyone head down here towards this wall. Although, this enemy doesn't want to attack him for some reason, so I don't even get that. Maybe it couldn't kill him either, I don't know. The mysteries of the AI. I'm gonna try and have Adam get that kill, and maybe he can get a level, I don't know. He's just... But this is what I mean, the only way for him to get that kill is for me to carefully avoid having anyone else kill him, because we easily could have defeated the Cerberus before this. Plenty of our party members were in range. There we go. Come on. Yay, level 6. Get some good. Okay, got a little more attack, a lot more defense, got some more speed too, so he's getting a little better. But I'll say, his level up games are fine, but they're not better than everyone else's. Everyone is getting a lot of stats at this point. So it's like, normally for a secret character who's gonna like unexpectedly get really strong, you expect their level up gains to just be like, oh, they're really high, wow. But his aren't better than everyone else's. So yeah, he'll eventually be usable, but it's not like he's suddenly gonna become amazing. Maybe we haven't hit the level where it happens yet, but I'm like, at some point, there's no point in waiting more. Like Ben, as soon as we promoted him, could use the Sword of Light. It was like, whoa, he's so good now, he can use a really good weapon. So, whereas this is like, yeah, he'll be fine eventually, he'll be similar to our other party members. And that's like, why are we using him? Now this is a case where we actually can't dogpile the boss as easily because the wall, our flyers can't go on top of it. So we really can't have that many people around him. I'm hoping we don't have to kill those skeletons to progress, because I would have to walk all the way over to them and I don't want to. It would take a long time. Man, that gun attack. These skeletons are like really hardcore. They're like, this is the charm of this game, I'm gonna say again, is that it's a medieval fantasy with all the trappings of that. We have like elves and knights and all that stuff. We're fighting with swords. But also, the elf is shooting a gun at a magical skeleton warrior who also has a gun while we're going to fight an evil dark dragon. Like, it's a weird mashup of steampunky things and like traditional fantasy tropes. It's just a fantasy kitchen sink. I would say is the trope. And that just, it gives it such a unique charm. The Shining Force is now in a desperate race against time. Dark Dragon is awakening. Spoiler alert, he's gonna be summoned and we're gonna have to fight him. Chapter 7, End. I believe we're in the last, this next one is the last one. So I guess we'll just watch the opening cutscene and then take a break. Rise of the Ancient Castle, Chapter 8. I'm pretty sure this is the end. Runefaust at last, because I think this is the last town. The long and perilous journey is near its end. It is up to the Shining Force whether it ends as a triumph for light or darkness. Or apparently chaos, because my sword is made of both. So here we are in Runefaust. This is the town. Yeah, I guess once the castle rises from the sea, we'll go in there. Let's go in. We'll just explore. Well, the knights have all gone away. I don't know where. So you can see that there's plenty of nice, normal people in Runefaust. Darksol is gone. I'd feel better about it if I knew what he was up to. And this jives with what we learned earlier in the game, that Runefaust was a perfectly... Oh, Emperor Ramladu. We heard about him earlier. General Elliot was like, I'm loyal to him, but he's been brainwashed. This is headquarters. Please make yourself at home. I like how every town gives us a little headquarters, even though we're enemies. You are welcome here. With Darksol gone, we are at peace once more. So we were told earlier in the game that... beyond the times, that Darksol had taken this place over and corrupted it, that it wasn't actually evil at all. And that he was controlling a lot of the generals and stuff, he was like manipulating them, and even Cain was mind controlled. Before Darksol came, our land was known as Protectora. We were at peace then. So has Darksol been here a long time? Because if he only just showed up, it's weird that our characters had to be told it used to be called Protectora if they changed their name like last month. Unless our characters are very stupid. Which, you know what? It could be. Okay, I'm gonna swap Adam out of our army now before I forget, because... Oh yeah, I was gonna say, last time when I was swapping characters in and out to grind them, I accidentally clicked his advice when I was just mashing the button, and I noticed that his advice at the beginning of the game, his advice was at least practical. Like at the beginning, he was like, giant bats can fly and do a lot of damage, watch out for them, like it was about things we were facing. But look at it now. Darksol has gathered his best warriors for the final battles. Prepare yourself. That's really useful advice, Nova. I didn't know that. We're in the final town fighting him, but no. In the last battle, his advice when we're fighting all the robots was, your most difficult battles still lie ahead. It's like, thanks. Thanks a lot. Your advice, why did we take you with us? What use are you? His only purpose is to swap people in and out of my party. Couldn't I just go yell like, hey guys, come over here? Like, why can't I just tell them that myself? I just think it raises questions. Oh, I also like that Adam is now on a bed. Apparently even robots need to take a nap for now. He needs a rest. I want to punish Darksol for all he has done. Let me fight. No, you're really weak. I don't want to. Here's our army. It has a ludicrous number of mages. We've got 4 mages and a healer, so we're very squishy. But, you know, Blue's tanky. And May's pretty tanky. And actually Domingo's pretty tanky, so I think we're sufficiently tanky, and we have enough melee. And we've got Ben, who's just so broken now. So I think it's fine. So I'm trying to keep an eye out for where the secret character is. Hopefully I will not have to look it up and I'll just spot it. I guess I should buy some healing seeds at some point. The medical herbs have really fallen behind, but I don't feel like it right now. I would probably be better at this game if I put more effort in, but I'm like, it's not needed. We still cannot buy a power lance. I'm only using 1 knight, so it doesn't matter, but it's really... Oh, actually, wait, the Buster Shot. I think what everyone has right now is the Assault Shell. The Buster Shot is actually new. As you can see, after all our grinding, we have 340,000 gold. Even though I died, like Ben died multiple times just because I was trying to leave weak enemies alive so others could get KOs, and he got attacked. Yes, but we got an upgrade weapon for our archers here, who honestly I'm surprised they have another upgrade because they were already pretty good. So like, why do they get a bonus upgrade? Now they'll be even better. I will say Lyle is honestly really amazing and has higher movement than the other two, so he probably is just overall better, but you know. Everyone already has a Chrome Lance. They've got that. Everyone's already... I'll equip these. And then I'm just gonna... Man, we're just getting some absurd stats at the end. You're like, look at these things. They're ridiculously strong. And seriously, I'm not kidding when I say the archers were not falling behind at all. They were quite competitive with the rest of the party. And these weapons have enormous range. So I'm like, why did they need an extra upgrade? No one else got one. Yeah, the birds already both have broadswords. All my lance users already have chrome lance. I don't know. No one gets through into Runefaust Castle. Mahato's orders. That's the guy we were told to go see. So presumably he's the one who's going to give us permission. But before that, I want to find our secret character. He's waiting inside the... Wait. We have to go see him. He's waiting inside the castle, but we're not allowed in the castle. I'm assuming we'll have to find a way in there. Darksol is evil. He tricked King Ramladu into terrible wars. You know, in all honesty, it doesn't seem like he was that difficult to trick. Even Elliot was like, he tricked him by telling him he would rule the world. He sounds like he was kind of a bad person. Darksol is gone. I hope he never returns. Welcome. At last the war is over. Is it? Also, like, were we even really... I feel like we weren't really at war. Like, they were at war with us, but we didn't, like... Our army has just been wandering around trying to find various things of the Ancients. We only fight Runefaust when they show up and attack us. So this isn't, like, that much of a war. It's really all one-sided. You freed us from Darksol. Thank you. Have I? Are we why he left? I thought he just had other things to do. Oh, where is it? I already went here. I'm looking for the spot where we'll recruit the secret character, basically. I may have to just... I can look it up in a guide where it is exactly. I just remembered the description of it. Oh, sure, let's see the legend. Runefaust and Guardiana are twin cities built to protect the Castle of the Ancients. That's not a legend, that's just the actual history of this world. We already know that. That's very much not a legend. The Castle of the Ancients, Time of the Ancients, and many more books. These people know a lot about the Ancients. Also, can I just say, if Guardiana and Protector were sister cities, how come they have so much more knowledge about the Ancients and we're just ignorant fucks who needed to be told all of this shit? Like... That castle's like a haunted house. Monsters are all over the place. Are there ghosts? Otherwise it's not really haunted. Emperor Ramladu, beloved leader, all hail Ramladu, and many more books. I like that Ramladu apparently published, and presumably written, several books about how great he is. Like, he honestly doesn't sound like he was very hard to trick into becoming evil. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly check in my guide and see if I can see, like, an image of where it is. Near the town entrance. Okay. So let's go back. There's one specific bush we need to search, and I think I walked past it. Ah, there it is! I did walk right by it. I was too far over. It's got a flower on it. See, we haven't seen any others like that. I am the ninja Hanzo. I shall join your battle. I await you at headquarters. See, this is the only bush in the game that actually had these little flowers in it, so it's... If it catches your eye. This one is much harder than the samurai one, because you can read most signs in the game, so you might naturally just try to read see what it said, whereas searching bushes has never given anything before. You might realize this one looks different, but also you start like far enough over on the map that you might miss it if you weren't keeping an eye out. So he's quite tricky to find. He is the most secret of the secret characters. Where is he sitting? Here he is, looking very ninja-like. His sprite looks like it's from a different game because there's no other characters who have this style of outfit. And his head looks smaller. Like he looks slightly more realistically proportioned than the more cartoony characters. If I were to fight, they wouldn't even see me coming. Well, he is a ninja. Oh, and apparently now that we have all the characters, there's not enough room for everyone, so poor Jogurt has to just stand out in the hallway. Even though, again, why can't he just sit in a chair? We have plenty of chairs. Look at this. The units in our army apparently just, like, a lot of them are not very social and hate the very thought of sitting next to someone. It just seems so strange. Why doesn't he at least sit on this chair? Like, he doesn't have to stand in the corner. I feel bad for him. Maybe he got rejected by the others. They were like, look, we all talked and we're kicking you out. You're really weird. So he also comes in at level 10, and like I mentioned, he comes with the Doomblade, and he has magic. I guess the idea is that they're like his secret ninja arts or something. I think he gets a 4th spell at some point, but I don't really remember. None of his spells are particularly good because they don't hit often enough. But you can see that he comes in with plenty of attack. He's got good move, he has lots of agility. The Doomblade is a really strong weapon. So he's a quite good unit. We're not going to use him because he's just a random secret unit we got all the way at the end of the game. I'd rather use our many friends we've brought this far and who have something to do with the story. Also, he's not silly enough. Like, we have an army filled with, like, steampunk armadillos and, like, elf wizards and dog people and squids that hatched from eggs, and he's just a ninja. And I think that's saying something. Like, we got a random secret ninja who joined our party, and he's one of the most normal people in our army. He's not even slightly weird. Even his art doesn't look as weird. Like I said, it looks like he's from some other, more realistic game. He got lost and ended up in Shining Force world. But it looks like that's the whole town. So how do we get in there? Okay, I'll keep going a little longer, mostly because I want to at least figure out how we get in there. I assume there's a battle, because we were just told the castle's full of monsters. I was thinking maybe this is the one well in the game we can go in, but apparently not. Maybe there's a way, like, through some of these bushes? I'm honestly unsure. We've been told we have to go see him, but he's in the castle and we can't get there. Oh, I don't think we went here yet. Oh, no, we did go here. My mistake. So how do we... Oh, I did not go far enough up on this screen. Oh, this is the castle. So the other place must be, like, towards the evil castle or whatever. Okay, this makes more sense to me. I didn't move the screen up far enough to see here. Wow. Mahato is inside. I hope Darksol's monsters haven't hurt him. So it looks like we're gonna have to rescue this guy as soon as this lady gets out of the way. This game really needs NPC shoving mechanics. Oh, it's some of these center guys we haven't seen in a while. Shining Force, we no longer obey Darksol. Are you gonna stop him? Guys, you've been trying to murder us the entire game. I really don't think you can all use the excuse that you were mind controlled. You could at least apologize. Okay, here we are in the castle. Oh, that guy looks just like Otrant. Maybe they're buddies? Otrant did tell us to see him. The way of a just king. Politics of the people, and many more books. So the impression the game is giving us here is that these people were honestly really nice prior to Darksol corrupting them. I'm assuming talking to the Otrant guy is going to be plot, so let's explore here first. This is a really tall tower. And all that's here is this guy. I feel a strange aura. I fear the Dark Dragon is awakening. No shit, buddy. Just, you're a little late to the party there. We knew that. We went all the way upstairs, and that's all that was there. I thought there would at least be something funny. Alright, buddy. I am Mahato. There is no time to lose, Ben. Darksol has gone to the gate. You must follow him. Go back through the town. The guards will let you through now. King Romladu will try to stop you, for he is Darksol's creature now. Fight well. You are the only one who can defeat Romladu. I don't suppose your army is going to help us at all. Just gonna leave it to us. But we'll leave that battle for next time. Let's go save the game, and then... In this episode, we finally, after all this time, we've reached Runefaust and found out that they're all actually really nice. Darksol just turned them to evil. They were not bad to begin with. And it's finally time for us to confront Darksol and stop him from resurrecting Dark Dragon and or kill Dark Dragon after he's been resurrected. But first, we have to get through King Romladu, who's been totally corrupted by Darksol and will try to stop us. So we're in the home stretch of the game here, facing our final battles, and because of the enormous amount of grinding I did, we're actually pretty high level, so we should be fine. So look forward to that exciting battle. For now, goodbye Simone, and goodbye viewers. This has been Shining Force.